So, Jim, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing amazing, Roger. How are you?
I'm great. I'm actually fantastic. Uh, I'm so happy I've had the opportunity to speak to you properly.
Yeah,
Times we've exchanged messages, and it's always been brief here and there, and just the chance to talk with you without no disturbances is phenomenal.
yeah.
Phenomenal.
Show.
Sorry?
Congratulations on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been great. I think so far I've done just over 50 episodes. A bit away from where you are right now. But it's been great. I've had some amazing guests and I've learned so many things, but most importantly I've been able to give something back to my community of followers, who come to me for great knowledge, and having people like you on the show is
Yeah.
it's phenomenal.
I'm, I'm
So
I'm a fan of yours. Also, I love following your adventures and all the resources and inspiration. So thank you.
oh, God bless you, man. Thank you. So when reading your story, I felt as if I was almost reading my own biography, certain parts of it, because school was also painful for me. It was a real struggle for me. I mean, I desperately wanted to learn, but I felt as though I was destined for failure. I was trying and trying. I was like, what's wrong with my brain? I just couldn't digest the information. When when my eyes would scroll along the page, it would slowly just, I don't know, my mind will just go into self dialogue, and I'll just lose concentration. I'll be distracted, and I then started to have self limiting affirmations, and I guess you start taunting yourself and all this self dialogue, and when other people see you struggling as well, it then makes you feel even worse about yourself, and it becomes a bit of a chain. What would you suggest for people to get around this struggle?
Well, I feel you, buddy. I think all of us in some area, it's a process going through life, and we always bump up against challenges. But I do believe with challenge comes change. Anybody who doubts it, just follow you on Instagram. You just see, like, even when you physically challenge yourself, the human beings are remarkable adaptation machines. Both our body, our brain is part of our body. It's the same way. And I do believe that the majority of all limits are learned. You're not born with this
Mm,
ability, this idea that we're not enough. You're not born with this belief that I'm not smart enough, or I have a horrible memory, or I'm broken. And everything is imprinted on us through experience, through the environment, through other people's expectations. And I think, becoming limitless is not about being perfect. Limitless is about it's about progressing and advancing beyond what you believe is possible. And we're all on that journey. I think that the adventure we're all on together is to be able this incredible quest to realize and reveal our fullest potential. But as well as I do, is sometimes media or marketing or our education system didn't necessarily prepare us or give us it's not always whispering and having those high level conversations about what we're really capable of. Usually it's this idea that somehow we're broken and we need to be fixed. Um, and I believe that my personal experience, growing up with learning challenges, when people see somebody who's extraordinary, in any way, in business, in their relationships, in their physique, rarely do they see what goes on behind the scenes. The level of discipline, the level of consistency, the level of maybe investment, persistence, skill development that it took to get there. People automatically see somebody that they could, bench press all this weight, and they're like, oh, they could do it because they're really strong. It's like, no, they're really strong because that's what they do all the time, right? And so when people see me do these demonstrations on social media or live, and remember a room full of people's names or 100 words or 100 numbers forwards and backwards,
wow.
I always tell people, I don't do this to impress you. I'm doing this to express to you what's really possible, because the truth is you could do it too. That's right. Regardless of your age, your background, your education level, your financial situation, your gender, your personal history, your IQ, there's no such thing. I believe there's no such thing as a good or bad brain. There's a trained brain and an untrained brain. And unfortunately, school taught us, classes on what to learn and what to focus on, what to remember, what to study, but not, what to think, but not how to do those things. There's no classes on how to learn, how to unlock this incredible potential, how to focus, how to concentrate, how to remember things, how to study better, how to read faster, how to think clearer and better. And so my message for everybody really growing up, I was the kid that was slowing down my class because I had these traumatic brain injuries, and I was being teased for it. I was being bullied for it. And one day a teacher came to my defense in front of the whole class and said, "That's the boy with the broken brain." And all I remember was that broken brain, and that label became my limit, and that stuck with me, and it put me in a box, right? And I feel like we're all, in some areas, we feel like we're not, making progress. So whether the box is in your physique, is the box is in your income, if maybe the box is your level of contribution, maybe the box is your reading speed, or this negative dialogue, you and I were talking about, we could, the good thing is we learned it so we could unlearn it, and we can unlimit it, if you will. And when we free ourselves from those constraints and concerns of other people, then we really could be that person that we're supposed to be. I believe there's a better version of ourselves that's just waiting for us, and so if we show up each day, eventually we'll get introduced to that person.
Absolutely. That's powerful. Do you feel that we still have self-limiting beliefs, even if we've come a long way? Like we was once in a position that was deep in the gutter, we've climbed out, we've excelled, we've done some amazing things, but we still have those moments which draw us back to a time when we was really weak, and it just, I don't know, you get these little reminders. I know I do sometimes, that's the reason why I ask you, like, do you have that yourself where everything's going amazing, but you know how to do something, but for some reason you just get a little bit of doubt, like you can't do it or something?
Yeah, and I think that's pretty common. It certainly is for me. I think every single day I'm working on what I need to work on. I think that often we teach the things that we need to learn the most, and that's definitely true for me. I would have been my teachers would have been surprised if I read a book growing up as a kid, much less wrote a book. And I feel like that the better, the more you teach something, the better you get at it. And so I feel like a lot of people, experts, they once, we all start as students, and we all start as beginners along the way. I mean, there are times when I'm waking up, and I'm traveling, or and I got a bad night's sleep, and I feel like pretty crummy. When you're jet lagged and you're in a different environment, it's in a hotel room somewhere, and and sometimes I slip, and when you're tired, exhaustion, you create, fear in anybody, or trepidation, or make you eat something you would normally eat, or maybe respond to somebody and react to somebody emotionally than you would normally do that, because you're just in a bad place. I believe that we do the best we can with what we have, in that moment. In Limitless, I have a quote from a French philosopher, and he says, "Life is the C between B and D. Life is C between B and D. B is birth, D is death. C, life is choice." And I really do believe that these difficult times, they could diminish us. These difficult times can destroy us, or these difficult times can develop us. We decide, and we always have a choice. And so absolutely, we all have days that are better than others, and I feel like that, doing the best we can with what we have on our own timeline, and living within our values, being kind, working hard, helping people along the way, finding joy and gratitude in the little things. I feel like that those are all little things we can do to find more success. But I always feel like we are always a thermostat. We're not a thermometer. Thermometers just react to everything. They react to the weather, they react to the economy, they react to politics, they react to how people treat them. And certainly we all sometimes fall in that direction. But ultimately, we are remembering that we're thermostats. That a thermostat doesn't react to the environment. It gauges the environment intelligently, but then it sets a temperature, and just like leaders, I feel like right now, leaders need to have a vision. They set a goal. They set some grand dream or ambition, and then the environment reacts to you. And I want to remind everybody that, happiness, true happiness, all the studies on happiness have concluded that, to the degree you're happy is to the degree you feel like the locus of control, or the location of control is inside of you. It's not coming from a relationship or a job, it's something on the outside. It's something that we cultivate inside. And so sometimes, we feel burnt out nowadays. People think because they're doing too much, but often people feel burnt out because they're doing too little of the things that make them come alive, the things that they value most, the things that light up like their fire, on the inside. And it's not even just positive thinking. At any time we have a choice, of what we're going to focus on, and what things are going to mean, in that moment, and then also what we're going to do right at any given time. So we always have choices in our life, and the challenge is it takes a lot to get over. Did you see that movie, Roger, Social Dilemma? This Netflix special where it's like people talking about these mobile devices and how we're always connected. And the challenge is they put billions of dollars into research to keep you on that device. Some of the
Mm.
brightest minds in the world, who understand the psychology, keeping you on that device. And sometimes it could be detrimental, because sometimes what you're looking at, it could be dark, it could be scary, it could be threatening, and our brain gets hijacked by that amygdala, by that fear, like a saber-tooth tiger is coming at us, and that puts us in fight or flight, maybe freeze. And that's not the place you want to be in when you want to create the life that you desire, the life that you really really deserve. So but making the choices to maybe put the phone down, and have some white space, making a choice to be able to go for a walk and get some fresh air, making a choice to listen to a podcast, or pick up a book, making a choice that I think every choice that we make, it's not so much what we're going to do. I feel like it's who we're going to be in that moment. In fact, when I'm faced with a dilemma or decision, like you're talking about, it's like every day is a different kind of day, and we have difficult times. And I think kindness goes a long way, especially self-compassion, not beating ourselves up when we're not perfect, but just honoring
Mm.
just our own humanity. And we live in a very turbulent sometimes, and not everything is going to be perfect, but being kind to ourselves helps us to be able to follow through. But instead of just having a to-do list, and when you're faced with a decision or dilemma, ask yourself, what do I need to do? Maybe step back from that moment. Everybody, even think about right now, right? A decision you need to make, or maybe a dilemma you're facing, or maybe some kind of something that's presented in front of you. Instead of asking, what do I need to do now? Take a moment and take a breath and ask, who do I need to be at this moment? Like, who do I need to be? Maybe I need to be determined. Maybe I need to be confident. Maybe I need to be compassionate, right? Because then that loving behavior is going to come out of that naturally when you're coming from that place of being. I believe there's this success formula that goes be, do, have, share, in that syntax, and often people try to shortcut it. They want to play the lottery, and have £1,000,000 or hit or millions of pounds or dollars, and they want to have, but they're jumping the gun because often when people win the lottery, statistically what happens, right?
Yeah,
They lose everything.
spending it all. Mm.
Yeah, they lose everything and go back, and actually have less than what they started with, because they have maybe millions of pounds, millions of dollars, they have all that wealth, but they were never being a multi-millionaire. You know what I mean? And so they weren't doing the things that that person would be doing to be able to keep and grow, that wealth. But I do believe that's the formula, and it starts with who do I want to be. That two of the most powerful words in the English language, at least, are the two shortest, I am. And you've heard this before. Everyone has. Just a reminder, though, because whatever you put after the words I am, it determines your life, right? Your destiny. I am. It's if you think like I am stupid. You could learn the great memory techniques to remember people's names, or to read 3 times faster, or to learn another language. But if you believe I am stupid, or I'm not smart enough, I have a horrible memory, we're still going to be stuck in that box. And so that's why, I love,
Mm,
following your work, listening to your show. It's, because a big part of success is that mindset. A lot of people know the methods. They know how to work out. They know how to eat right. They know, they know red light therapy. They know should prioritize sleep. But a lot of people aren't doing what they know, because common sense is not often common practice, right? And sometimes we have to get out of our own way and really adjust to check in with our mindset and our motivation, because
mm.
otherwise you could have this, a limited mindset and you're still going to be stuck in that box. Or even if you have a limitless mindset and you know what to do, you can be not motivated, because some people just, they procrastinate, right? They put things
Mm.
off. And, we could talk about that a little bit also as well. Why do people not do the things they know is going to be good for them? Like, we have one life here. Why aren't we running towards our dreams like we're on fire?
It's crazy. I think a lot of people, it's almost like they're unaware of the direction they're supposed to go. And it fascinates me. Like, especially if someone says, I keep falling off my diet, I keep crashing, I keep eating garbage. And I'm like, you you know what your goal is. Look, why do you keep crashing? I don't understand. You know what is good, you know what is bad, but somehow you still keep making a mistake. And I think some people, if they've made a lifetime habit of doing the wrong thing, they need to be aware that they've invested so much time in doing the wrong thing that now they need to just take small steps, just little incremental steps. So if they're used to eating trash food every single day, rather than just making it all clean, maybe just clean up one day to start off with. Just one day. See how that feels? Okay. Can you manage another one? But I think, yeah, a lot of people, they they don't implement these steps and create small little habits in their day to turn it into a new habit where there's less chance of them procrastinating, I would say. Less chance of them doing the the same wrong things all of the time. So once you slowly start to put in a new practice and you become comfortable, even if you're uncomfortable with it, it doesn't matter. If you're uncomfortable with it, you'll remember it. Like, I get up every morning about 4, and I go out for a cycle at 5 o'clock in the morning. And at this type of time of year, it's cold. And if I'm still a little bit tired or I'm a bit hungry, the cold hits me more. And I don't like it, but it's something that I'm it's like I'm used to it now, and I understand. I'm prepared for how I'm going to feel. It's not a surprise to me. It's not hitting me like I'm scared of it. It's like I know what to expect, even though it might not be the most pleasurable thing. It's a bit like cold showers. I think I actually like that less. That hits me even more, but I know the benefit, so I just keep doing it. And I think when you have systems in place that you do at a certain time, you don't think about it, you just do it. Even if you don't like it, you just do it. It's like when you mentioned something about motivation, and I would say if I'm training 5 times a week when I go to the gym, I would say I probably have motivation once out of those times. And if I'm motivated, I see it as a bonus. I see it as a bonus. But I just do it because I know it needs to be done. I know that nobody else can train my body for me. So having those little steps, knowing that you've overcome these little hurdles, allows you to kind of see further in the horizon. That's what I'd chuck that in that there.
Yeah, no, that's inspiring for me. Are you a morning person?
I've been asking myself that question. I do love the mornings. I think during the summertime, it was almost like I kind of recalibrated my circadian rhythm, and I started to stay up a little bit later. And I felt quite comfortable with it. I was sleeping in later, getting up later, going bed later. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm not a morning person. But the moment the weather started to change, I just felt I needed to wake up earlier. So, but to be honest with you, for many years, I'd been waking up super early, from when I was at school to when I was working for companies, in your standard employment. Um, yeah, I'd always wake up super early, go to the gym, then go to work, or I would go for a jog around the park, then I would go to school. But yeah, I guess, yeah, I do like waking up early. And when I wake up early, I feel as though I'm although we're at different time zones around the world, I feel as though I'm getting up before the world. I'm like, okay, I'm up. I can get things done before the world is started. So I'm ahead if I get started now. That's sort of the mindset I have. When I wake up and it's still dark, I'm tiptoeing, keeping it quiet. I feel like, yeah, I can secretly get extra stuff done. Recently, I just randomly woke up at 2 minutes. I think it was about 2 or 3 minutes to 2 in the morning, like early hours of the morning, when I should have been maybe in my second episode of REM or deep sleep. I don't know, but I should have been asleep. But for some reason, I woke up and I was tossing and turning, and I was questioning myself, like, why are you still awake? Get to sleep. And then I finally just told myself, look, just get up. You can possibly get some work done. So I did. I got up, got on the laptop, had my red light therapy there, blue light blockers, and just got some work done. And then when it hit about 4 o'clock, then I just went for a cycle, came back, had so much work done that day. And yeah, it was like I was finished by like midday. And I thought, wow, this is incredible. I love it. Just, I just love that. I love being productive. I think it's quite empowering when you are productive and you get stuff done. It's like you get more energy. So
So let me
yeah.
ask you a question, and I feel like I'm going in my podcast mode because I'm just curious. Do you what if you didn't? What if you weren't productive? What would happen? Like if you, how would that make you feel?
I'd still feel okay.
Yeah,
I'd find a reason to make it okay. I'll be like, all right, what's happened here? Why am I, not in my A game? Maybe it's my body telling me something. Maybe I just need to rest. I'll question how I've been doing recently. And, if I'm used to being at a certain speed and I'm not at that speed, then I'll be like, okay, just take some time out.
yeah.
Something is telling you to slow down. Just listen to yourself.
No, I love
Um, hmm,
that self-awareness, that curiosity to know yourself is it's a superpower for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So, you mentioned something in your book. I think it was the amazing things of the seven. Was it the seven lies people learn? Was
yeah,
it
yeah.
seven lies people teach to tell themselves? I know that one of them, it was intelligence is fixed. I remember that one. Um, what else is there? You only
One,
use 10% of your brain.
yeah. Another one is genius is born. When the truth is genius is actually built. Another one is that knowledge itself is power, when it's a lie. And when we say
Yeah.
lies, a lie stands for me, a lie, limited idea entertained, LIE, limited idea entertained. It's not true that we use 10% of our brain. It's not true that knowledge, it's not true that we're not smart enough, but it's just a lie. It's an idea we're giving energy to. It's um, that we're putting focus into, but it really falls underneath the mindset. I believe that, everyone should grab a piece of paper if they're able to. I know a lot of people listen to us when they work out or when they're driving, but if you can take a couple of notes, it might be worth it. If you can't write it out, maybe just picture it. The focus of the book really, it was a book all on methodology on how to do these things that I'm known for, helping people to read faster, have improve their focus, remember names, give a TED talk from memory, those kind of things. But I realized that when I was going to hit send to my publisher, I said, "Well, will everyone who read this book get the results they were hoping for?" And my honest answer was no, they won't, because it's missing two important elements. And so I wanted to share with your community the framework for literal limitless learning, for unlocking human potential. And I call it the limitless model. And I think everyone could see themselves inside this model. And then afterwards, we could go micro into any area that people want to go into. But really, imagine three intersecting circles, like a Venn, they call it a Venn diagram, kind of like Mickey Mouse, two ears that intersect and a face.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
so
Yeah,
they're overlap.
yeah,
Yes, exactly.
yeah.
So you have those three circles and they intersect, and there are three M's. So I want everyone. Let's make this interactive. Tell Think about an area of your life where you feel limited, where you feel like you're not making progress, where you feel like you're not advancing. Where do you feel like you're stuck a little bit? Is it, and everyone, it's in a different place. Like, is it your income? Is it your impact? Is it your relationships? Is it your physical health and well being? Is it your career? You're not making progress in your career. Is it your learning? Do you feel like you can't read any faster or remember anymore? Where do you feel like you're limited? Where do you feel like you're in a box? Now, by definition, that box is three-dimensional, right? And that means there are three forces that keep you in that box. But these are also the three forces, the same three forces that will liberate you out of that box, that will make you more limitless, right? And I call these three forces the three M's that make up the limitless model, these three circles. Now, the last M, the one on the bottom, that's the methods, and those are the methods, the strategies, the processes for getting a result, for investing, for starting a company, for getting a job, your methods for negotiation, your methods for building lean muscle mass, your methods for longevity, your methods for reading faster, your methods for remembering more. Any kind of method would be there, right? For hiring, for training, for anything, right? Now, a lot of people, as you and I talked about, know what to do because they see all this stuff, but common sense is not common practice. So why are still people stuck in that box? Well, there are two M's that also have to be addressed. And again, all limits are learned. We learn those methods. Maybe we're using old methods for investing, old methods for hiring, old methods for marketing, old billboards, or, I don't know what people are doing, but just old stuff, or old methods of eating, of just all of eating, or old methods for working out, as opposed to something based on, today's science. So that certainly can be upgraded, but also what has to be upgraded is the first M, with the first circle, is your mindset. Now, mindset I'm defining as your set of assumptions and your attitudes about something. So it could be your attitudes and assumptions about money. That's your part of your mindset. Your attitudes, assumptions about, um, you know, equality. Your attitudes and assumptions about health. Right? If somebody has assumptions that they're only going to live a certain thing, or that disease is, it's very common, or they can never get well. That mindset is going to affect, even if they use the methods of eating right and everything, it's still going to affect them, right? Or if their mindset is they're not worth more than a certain salary, and no matter what they're doing method wise in their job, they're never going to be able to earn more because they're still stuck in that box. That's our mindset. So three things that would be in that circle that people can relate to: things like what I believe is possible. That's part of your mindset. What I believe is possible. Is it possible for me to look that good? Is it possible for me to be able to live that long? Is it possible for me to read that fast? Possible for me to earn that amount, or have that many followers on social media, or whatever, right? What I believe is possible. And then what I believe I'm capable of. Because you could think, it's possible for Roger, but they might think it's not possible for them, right? So that has to be addressed also. Like, oh yeah, I know Jim could remember all those names. That's possible for him. So I believe it's possible, but I don't believe it's possible for me. I'm capable of it. But even if you have that, also, what I believe I deserve, right? And maybe people, you can have the great methods for dating, and having a fulfilling relationship, but if you don't believe you deserve it, then all behavior is belief driven, and you wonder why you sabotage. So mindset really is, if you sabotage things, like you take one step forward and then two steps back, it's usually because you don't believe you're capable of it. You don't believe you deserve it. Something's going on in your mindset, right? Because again, you could teach someone a method for learning languages, but if their mindset is, oh, I'm too old, I'm too stupid, you're still stuck in that box. But then you need this, the last and the second M, which is your motivation. Your motivation. You could have a limitless mindset. I believe I could earn this. I have the methods for it, but I'm not motivated to do anything. Right? I believe, my mindset is, oh yeah, I could have that 8-pack, yeah, abs, right? Or I know the methods, because I see Roger work out, but I'm not motivated to do that. And so that has to be there also, otherwise you're still stuck in that box, right? And so all three of these have to be unlimited. And when it comes to motivation, where mindset is where usually people sabotage themselves because they don't believe it's possible, they don't believe they deserve it, they don't believe they're capable of it. My motivation is usually procrastination issues. People, like, they know what to do, but they don't do what they know, right? And so let's just take working out. Everyone knows, as your body moves, your brain grooves. And whether you work out 5 times a week, it's very important to just move all day, right? They say sitting is the new smoking, and we're behind screens all the time. But when you move, you create brain-derived neurotropic factors, B, D, and F, which is like fertilizer for neuroplasticity. When you move and listen to a podcast like this or an audio book, then you're doing something rhythmic, like an elliptical, maybe a light jog. You're actually going to understand and retain the information better. So it's great. What's good for your heart is going to be good for your head. That's one of the best hacks and most obvious hacks, for cognitive performance, is just exercise. When you get blood flow to your brain, you get more oxygen to your brain. It's all around good. Yet if you're not doing it, I realized that, after teaching this for 29 years, we have students in 195 countries, we have a lot of data. 3 things need to be present for people to have sustained motivation. Now, just to be clear, someone is motivated only if it's not what you say. Your kids could say they're motivated. Your team could say they're motivated. You could even say you're motivated, but it doesn't mean you're motivated. You can even feel motivated. Your team could go to an event or listen to music and feel like they're motivated. But the evidence that somebody is motivated, consistent action, right? You're motivated to exercise, right? Because you consistently act, and your results show, right? Because it's better well done than well said, right? And yet, if somebody is not consistently acting, usually one of 3 things needs to be there. And so this is my formula for sustained motivation. And it's not just based on, all the research that I do. It's based on 3 decades of field testing this with children with, severe learning challenges like I had, to aging seniors who feel like they're losing their memory, their mind, to everybody in between. And I believe genius leaves clues. So I realized that, there, for genius, for me, it's not like genius is IQ. Genius for me is like pattern recognition. Somebody who is a genius at relationships, they see patterns other people don't see. Someone who's a genius at negotiation, they see patterns and influence and persuasion. People are geniuses even learning languages, that they have patterns. People can remember names. There's a pattern there that other people can't see. So what I want to do is take that and make it conscious for people. So there's 3 keys to sustain motivation. This is the formula for sustained, mind-blowing motivation. It's P times E times S3. P times E times S3. So let's do this thought experiment. Let's pretend we're going to build the ultimate motivated human being in front of us, and let's say it's to work out. It's just for them to consistently exercise. What has to be there? The first thing, and you've alluded to it already in your experience, the P stands for purpose. You might not be a morning person. Someone listening to this might not be a morning person and want to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, or be out in the cold. But if they have a big enough purpose, that's a big driver to have sustained motivation. For me, I really don't like the cold. I met Wim Hof over 7 years ago. And I've been doing cold therapy every day since then. And I grew up in the Northeast in the United States. I despise the cold. But I've never missed a day. And it's not because it's uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable, but my purpose is I know I am doing it because reasons reap results. Like some people, they know all the benefits. They feel the rewards of working out. They love how it feels and how it looks and whatever purpose they have behind it, and they just won't miss a day, right? And in fact, I have an acquaintance, not really a friend, but someone I've known for a very long time, and he is unhealthy most of his time I've known him. And we were family friends would have interventions saying, look, you got to stop smoking, you got to stop eating this, you got to start exercising a little bit, you got to see, and just wouldn't change. And then one day he has a heart attack, almost dies, has bypass surgery, just really painful, and goes back to his old lifestyle. And we're just like, whoa, what does it take?
Oh,
And
man.
after that, I see him out, and he's like picture perfect of health, Roger. Like it's like he looks younger, he looks fit, he just, it doesn't even look like the same person. And I'm like, what's going on, what are you doing? And he's talking about his diet and his sleep, and how he had, he now he's stopped smoking, he's doing all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, but you knew you should have been doing that forever. We've been talking about that. And he's like, I was like, what happened? What motivated you? And he's like, he came back from a work trip to his daughter at home, and daughter was crying hysterically. And he finds out that she had a nightmare that he had died and wasn't there to walk her down the aisle at her wedding and be there for her kids and all that thing. And she just instantly, he just changed his life. So that's what I mean about purpose. And it's not something cognitively. He knew all the reasons why he should do those things, but he still wasn't doing it. But until you feel it purpose wise, feel the pleasure that comes, the benefit, the rewards that come from following through, or even the discomfort or the pain that comes from not following through. Like, who's counting on you? And if you can't find one or the other, I would ask, do you really need to do that thing? Because if maybe there's no purpose in that, because a lot of people are doing things and getting really good at things that they maybe shouldn't be doing because it's not getting them closer to where they want to go, right?
Mm.
It's, doing something fast, or you can go fast, you can go nowhere fast, right? So you want to make direction. So that's the P is
Yeah.
purpose. But then my mind went, okay, if somebody just has enough purpose, will they always follow through? And my answer was no. Some people will not be motivated, even if they have purpose, because they can be missing the E. The E stands for energy, right? This important thing that you talk about all the time, with your food, with your breathing, with your devices, right, that help you to generate more energy. Some people, they know their purpose to read an hour a day, or to meditate, or to work out, or whatever, make 20 sales calls, but they don't have the energy because maybe they have a newborn kid and they haven't slept in 3 days. That's going to affect your motivation.
Mm.
Maybe they want to read an hour a day. They know leaders are readers. If you see pictures of me on Instagram with Bill Gates, with Oprah Winfrey, with Elon Musk, we bonded over books. Someone has decades of experience and they put it into a book, and you can read that book in a few days. You can download decades into days. Biggest advantage. But if you're not reading 30 minutes, an hour a day, maybe because you don't have the energy. Maybe you ate a big processed meal and you're in a food coma. That's going to affect your energy. Maybe you're not making those 20 sales calls because you're around energy vampires and they're always stealing your dreams, stealing your vitality. Or maybe you're just stressed out of your mind because everything going on in the world, chronic stress, it just saps your energy. It shrinks your brain. It makes you more susceptible to your immune system, psychoneuroimmunology, like all this stuff, right? And so energy is so important. That's why in the book I talk about the 10 things I do to generate mental energy to get over brain fatigue, right? But then I
Mm.
went, okay, if someone has a big enough purpose and they have abundance of energy, will they always follow through, with their actions? And my answer was no. They could be missing S3. And S3 stands for small, simple steps. Exactly what you were talking at the beginning of this conversation, breaking it down into something manageable, because some people aren't motivated because this goal is way too big. I want to find my soulmate, live happily ever after, right? I want the perfect physique. I want to, a million followers on Facebook, whatever, right? It's just way too big. And that's why a confused mind won't do anything, right? And so inch by
Mm.
inch, it's a cinch, yard by yard, it's way too hard. And so how do you find your small, simple step? You ask yourself a question. And the question is this: what is the tiniest action I could take right now that will give me progress towards this goal where I cannot fail? What is the tiniest action, the tiniest step I could take right now that will give me progress towards this goal where I can't fail? So maybe it's not working out for an hour for someone who's that, maybe that's too big for someone who's never done that before. Maybe it's putting on your running shoes, you know, maybe it's getting out the door, right? Maybe it's not reading an hour a day for someone who's never done it. Maybe it's just opening up the book, right? And that's it.
Mhm.
Reading one line in a book. Dr. BJ Fogg, who I talk about from Stanford University, that runs the lab, they're just all about habits. He's like, maybe they can't floss all their teeth because they've never done it before. Maybe flossing one tooth, because who's going to stop at one tooth? And right. And the thing is, small, simple step, little by little, a little becomes a lot. Right. And that's my formula for motivation, limitless motivation. So you have the mindset, limitless mindset. You believe it's possible. You believe you're capable of it. You believe you deserve it. You have purpose. You have energy. You have small, simple steps. And then you have the methods, which are the full strategies on how to be create a company, how to get investors, how to negotiate, how to read faster, how to, be physically fit, right? Um, Having your BMI, whatever it happens to be, the methods are on it, but you want them to be upgraded also as well, because some people are doing old stuff from decades ago that's not current with today's science. And now, just when you're drawing this out, I don't know if I have the ability maybe to share screen. I can show you what this looks like.
Yeah, sure.
Um, I don't know if it's here. Um, but when you have these three circles, you have three M's that are here. And then you have three I's also. Three I's, that's where they intersect and overlap. And
Right.
so the first I is where mindset crosses over with motivation. Where mindset and motivation cross over, you have the first I, which is inspiration. And there are mindset experts. There's a great mindset book called Mindset by Dr. Carol Dweck, right? They're great motivational speakers, motivational books. Where they cross over, you have inspiration, you have your inspiring speakers, you have inspiring movies. And what does an inspiring movie do? You watch Braveheart, you watch whatever you're watching, right? It changes your mindset in terms of possibility, and it changes your energy or your motivation a little bit. But you're inspired, but you don't have the methods. You don't know what to do.
Hmm.
Where mindset crosses over with methods, you have the second I, which is ideation. Mindset is you believe it's possible, you believe you're capable of it. Methods are what to do. So that's ideation. It just stays in your mind, right, as an idea because you lack the motivation. And finally, where motivation crosses over with methods, you have the third I, and that's implementation. You're motivated, you have purpose, you have lots of energy, you have the methods for doing that thing. So you're implementing, but you could still be stuck in that box because you're only going to be able to implement up to what your mindset allows. If what your mindset believes is possible, what your mindset believes you're capable of, what your mindset believes you deserve. Now, if you put all three circles together, all three M's or all three I's, right in the middle, you have a fourth I, and that's integration. Integration. Integration, like integer, it means it's a whole number, it's whole. And that's just who you are. And that's the limitless state. Now, the reason why I give people this framework is because it becomes a lens for you to look at your life or your learning through. So if you want to remember people's names, that's the goal, right? Is it, and you're not, maybe you have to see what of the three dimensions or more of them or a combination of them is keeping you in that box. Is it your mindset? Do you not believe it's possible? Do you not believe you're capable of it? Do you not have purpose to remember that person's name or to learn that language? Do you not have energy? Are you not sleeping? Right? That's going to affect. Have you not broken it down to small, simple steps to learn that language or whatever? Or are you using old methods for trying to get there? And this is great because it takes the judgment out of it. Plus, you could use this lens for people around you, your team, your children, right? Maybe where if there's a gap between where they are and where they want to be, you can go into their mindset or their motivation. Does my kids not have a purpose for cleaning their room? Do they not have any energy because they're staying up all night? Do they maybe small simple steps, putting one sock in the hamper, right? Just small simple things, or maybe they're using old methods for learning or reading. Back when they were 7 years old, when they first learned how to read, they haven't updated those reading methods. at all, right? So it
Mm.
becomes a framework for also modeling genius. If somebody is extraordinary in some area, what's their mindset? What's their beliefs? What's their purpose? What are they doing to optimize their energy? What devices are they using? How are they prioritizing their sleep, right? What are the small, simple steps they do when they're confused or intimidated? What's their playbook or blueprint, methods, the strategies, the processes that they're doing on a regular basis. Then you could duplicate genius, in other people.
Yeah, yeah. That's amazing, amazing. Even when he was talking about the reading part and just methods old methods which are taught, and I was thinking to myself, there's so many old methods which are being taught in schools, and I was going to ask you, like, what's your thoughts on that, really? It frustrates me sometimes when I think to myself the whole classroom setting and how it just didn't work for me, unless you have like private tuition where you can be, you know dealt with on an individual basis. I just don't feel it's suitable for young minds to digest um, information in its full capacity. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think you're right. I think a lot of people could probably relate to what you're saying, and they're frustrated. They're thinking that, wow, if I would have learned this back in school, it would have been a lot easier. My life, my learning would have been a lot easier. Or if they have kids, going through this right now, especially now. And I think school, they teach you what to learn: math, history, science, Spanish, but there are no classes on how to learn. And I think if there's one skill for all of us to master in the 21st century for our success and happiness, it's our ability to learn faster, learning how to learn. They call it meta learning. And that's really what Limitless is. It's a guidebook, an owner's manual for the most important technology, which is your mind, right? Because your brain doesn't come with an owner's manual. It's not user friendly, right? And
Mm.
so learning how to learn, learning how to focus, learning how to study, learning how to remember, learning how to read better, learning how to think clearer, right? Make better decisions. It's most important, because if you could do that, it's like if a genie could grant you any one wish, but only one wish, you would ask for limitless wishes, right? Millions of wishes.
Yeah.
You're learning genie and I can help you master any one subject or skill, what would it be? What would be the equivalent of asking for limitless wishes? It would be learning what? Learning how to learn. Because if you could learn how to learn, you could grant all your own wishes. You could apply that towards money, management, marketing, muscles, Mandarin, music, anything in your life gets easier when you can learn how to learn. And so if there's one change I would make in the school system, and again, teachers, I find my mother became a school teacher because she didn't know how to help me with my struggles. I have major respect for teachers. They're some of the most caring, compassionate, committed individuals, capable individuals. It's just the system hasn't changed as much as the world has changed. We live in an age of autonomous electric cars, spaceships that are going to Mars. Our vehicle of choice that we're driving to learn is like a horse and buggy, and it hasn't updated as much as the world has updated. And so I would focus on learning how to learn. I think there's 5 areas to focus on. And those are the 5 areas I talk about in the book, chapters on each: limitless focus, limitless study, limitless memory, limitless reading, speed and comprehension, limitless thinking, exponential thinking, how to solve problems, how to make decisions, how to be more creative, and so on. So I think that is the kind of the missing link right
Mm.
now, because if kids can learn how to learn, they could apply it towards the things that they're passionate about.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think that's definitely what is required. Hopefully that'll be something in the future. Maybe.
And that's why I did my podcast. We've done 200 episodes, and every episode is learning how to learn. Learning how to read better, how to focus, concentrate, how to be able to change your habits. The best brain foods, how to remember people's names, and so people could just search my name in their podcast app and get all the methods. My thing,
Yeah.
and I'm happy to go into some of these methods also, is just getting the mind, understanding that mindset and motivation also play a role in our performance.
Mm. Mm. Man, wow. Yeah, your podcasts are incredible. And what is it you say that bite-sized for I can't remember, but they're only 20 minutes long. See my memory.
Yeah, every episode is no more than 20 minutes ever. You know, the 200 episodes, none of them have gone past 20 minutes.
Brilliant.
Just because it's called Quick Brain. My last name really is Kwik, Kwik. I didn't change it to do what I do. It's my dharma, my mission to lead. You know, as the boy labeled the boy with the broken brain is, I want to build better brains so people have the brightest future. No brain left behind is our mission. So yeah, quick. Everything is short because people are very busy and very practical. But people could go to quickbrain.com. And actually, when they go there, not only will they have access to the podcast, but there are 3 videos on how to read faster, how to remember people's names, and how to give a TED talk from memory. And
Oh,
that's
wow.
free. And it's just kwikbrain.com. And, you know, so the strategies are out there. You know, we have over get 300 million video views the past couple of years, and there's a lot of content that's out there, you know. But the main thing, though, going back to the power of choice, is the biggest mistake I see people doing is don't downgrade your dreams to meet this current situation. That's what a lot of people are doing out of fear. Don't downgrade your dreams to meet this current situation. Upgrade your mindset, your motivation, and the methods to be able to meet your destiny. Right. You know, and so we want to be dreaming bigger. Don't shrink don't shrink what's possible to fit your mind. Expand your mind to fit what's really possible in the world. And we
I
need
love
more
that.
people, you know, coming from that place, you know, people like yourself who are, you know, shining examples, because I believe the life you live are the lessons you teach, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you know, that's the physical proof. Even people who have their own online business and everything, you know, I think it's better, you know, don't promise, prove, right? Don't say it, show it, you know. And I think the world needs more of that right now more than ever. And then that's what leadership is setting that example and building other leaders
Yeah.
up. But leadership and learning go hand in hand. Leaders are readers. I think reading is to your mind what exercise is to your body, and that's why I think it's important to do. Some people saw that Insta story I did with Will Smith. I was like, you know, what are the 2 things you do every day? Just 2 things to keep your mind right. He's like, Jim, I do 2 things. I run and I read. You know, I have to do something physical every day, and I have to do something mental every day, because that's your fitness, not just physical fitness, but that's your mental fitness too.
That's powerful. That's powerful. And I never used to do cardio, but the moment I got into cycling, that was mainly it, to be honest with you. I love it. And I know you mentioned in your book about actual physical reading, and I'm trying. I'm still not there yet, but I mean, I listen to podcasts every day, and also I have loads of audio books, but it's the physical reading I need to get into the practice of doing.
I really
Um,
audio, you know, because you know we Limitless is on audiobook. You know, we have a podcast. Um, I love it. It's just when people are tested for comprehension and retention, um, physical reading tends to score higher, because
mm,
often when people are listening to something, they're doing something else. They are working out, or they are, you know, they're cleaning their house, or they're driving somewhere. So sometimes they're trying to multitask. And if their attention is somewhere else, they miss some things. And sometimes listening, like watching TV, is a little bit more passive than engaging with a book, you know, where you have to be more, um, you know, more active, because I found that learning is not a spectator sport. That being said, I listen to podcasts every day. I listen to books every single day, you know, as well. So it's not necessarily one or the other. It's just we do what we can. And it's nice if something is difficult, just like with you and doing cold therapy, everything. It's important to do difficult things. I find that it's important that that we always do the easy things in life. Life gets harder. You
yeah.
know, easy thing is procrastinating, putting things off, binge watching Netflix, or no judgment. But if you just do the easy things, life gets hard. But if you do hard things in life, you develop resilience, you develop grit, you take that cold shower, you know, you take how you do anything is how you do everything. You take that
Yeah.
same level, you know, you train yourself to be uncomfortable and still act. The next time you feel uncomfortable in that meeting, or you have to have that difficult conversation, or give that presentation at work, you know, you've developed courage, you know. And I saw this movie recently because I was probably many people saw it probably earlier than me, but it's like We Bought a Zoo. It was with Matt Damon, and he says there's a quote in there. It says, "Sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage. I promise you something great will come of it." And I feel like, creating the life you want can be scary, but you know what's scarier? Regret. And one
Mm,
day you will take your final breaths, and none of other people's opinions, the things that we worry about, our fears, none of it will matter. What will matter is how we loved, how we laughed, how we learned, how we lived. And
mm,
I think now more than ever, we want to be too optimistic to scare, right? We want our dreams to be bigger than our fears, your actions louder than your words, your faith stronger than your feelings, because that's how winning is done, frankly, and
mm.
transformation happens.
That's powerful. It reminds me, I'm sure Les Brown said something along those lines.
Yeah,
Um,
I just said so, a lot of brilliant things.
yeah,
Fun story. Like when I first got started, I was fresh out of college. This was over 25 years ago, and I was got on a plane to do a speaking engagement right out of school, and it was a connecting flight, and it was delayed when I got to the gate, and I whip out my Live Your Dream book, Live Your Dream book by Les Brown, right,
mm,
and I'm reading it there. Like, when you read, you sometimes feel like you could hear the author's voice inside your head
yeah.
times. And I
Yeah.
swear I heard his voice, but it was like something was different about it. And I was like, that was weird. And I swear to you, it happened again. And I look up, and not 3 seats over is Les Brown
Oh my God.
at the same gate.
It's
And I
insane.
have a photograph, which I have to dig up, of this, you know, 21, 22-year-old kid, and with Les Brown, at a little airport cafe, waiting for our planes to arrive. But call it the law of attraction, call it whatever people think it is, but just there's certain synchronicities or hyper synchronicities that happen sometimes,
Mm,
when you're just kind of in that place. But it's just a kind of a fun anecdote. But that's when I first learned it. And there's a testimonial on my Instagram highlights. If you look at testimonials in the highlights, and he was like, somebody asked him, "How do you remember all these quotes?" And he was like, "My friend Jim Kwik, I be able to remember all these reading because he has these incredible sayings, like
mm.
fall down makes you land on your back because if you could look up, you could get up." And he's got so many of them,
Yeah.
prolific, and he's a real mentor and a hero in my mind.
I swear you do the same thing though. Like, I don't know, give you something to talk about, and then you'll have acronyms for it. You'll have some kind of I don't know. You'll have some words for it. It's like everything. It's incredible.
Like people talk to you about different areas. I mean, the obvious one, people talk about is your physical physique. Like you're this like physical, like specimen, right? But it's just like it comes because people don't see the work. Like anything that I do that looks like that, it's only because I do the work, right? It's
Yeah.
like this is what I'm doing all the time. I'm eating this brain diet, I'm doing this for my sleep, I'm doing this for my mental exercise, I do this for my learning, I do this for my reading, and I read for 4 years, I read almost a book a day, so it's just like that's just how I show up because when you have those skills. But again, I didn't start there, and I didn't even start normal. I was like below normal, and I really do believe that no matter where you are, your age, your background, anything is just, part of self-care is just falling in love with the person in the mirror who's been through so much but is still standing. We're all fighting battles that nobody knows about. And that's why kindness is so important now more than ever. And kindness is free, so we should be sprinkling that stuff everywhere. But
Yeah.
it's not comparing yourself to other people, because on Instagram, it's always going to look better. And it's not greener. It could be greener. What's greener? The grass is greener where you water it, first of all. But it could be greener and on social media because it's the filter they're using. It could be because it's artificial turf. It's that comparison. It steals like your joy. And I'm saying that the day that I just decided, like, even though I stopped comparing myself to the other kids in class because I was the word, like there was in elementary school, they took all these kids and they're like, "Hey, we're forming a new group for all of you. It's called MASP." MASP, and it stands for More Able Student Program. And everyone was invited except for me and this other kid in class in elementary school. And we were like, we created our own group and we called it LASP, Less Able Student Program. And like we weren't, yeah, that's why my book says, upgrade your brain, learn anything faster, unlock your exceptional life. Because these kids were the exceptional kids in school,
Mm.
and I've learned that we all can be exceptional, if we're willing to do the work,
Yes.
and so.
Oh, Jim, it's been absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate that. Um,
And
it,
this has been an honor. I have a gift for everybody also. Besides quickbrain.com, where people could get the 3 free videos, as well as podcast links. If people go to for the speed reading, because I know people are interested in that,
mm,
jimkwik.com/reading. There's a 1-hour masterclass where you could get a book, anywhere. Just bring it in online, and I will walk you through this process of not only reading faster. You'll read certainly faster, but you also improve your focus and reading comprehension. And that's kind of my gift to all your listeners. And if people want
oh,
Limitless, they go to limitlessbook.com. You get it all around the world. We donate 100% of my proceeds to charity.
really?
Even we gave another $50,000 to an organization called Pencils of Promise. We built schools for them everywhere from Ghana to Guatemala. So we're very proud. Built a school, healthcare, clean water for the young girls and boys who, getting sick because of just the environment. And also Alzheimer's research in memory of my grandmother who passed of Alzheimer's. So when I was going through all
Right.
those challenges, she was taking care of me. But at the age of 6, I started taking care of her. And so to watch
Yeah.
that, it's something we're very passionate about. When you go to limitlessbook.com and you get the book there or submit your receipt there, you get a free 10-day program from me on top of it. I really want to
Incredible.
democratize this information to the world. And I appreciate, your support and just, you champion just possibility to people. It means everything.
Oh man, that's wow, wow. That is so great. No, thank you very much that I can share that for all my listeners as well. And you give all the proceeds to all those charities and
Yeah, it's just, I believe the formula is learn to earn to return. You learn, the faster you can learn, the faster you can earn, because knowledge
yeah,
is not only power, it's profit today, right? When you can remember things and remember names and get and do all this stuff, but then it gives you more to be able to return. And that's really, our mission really is one, no brain left behind. So
yeah,
because who knows that if somebody's listening to this, because I know you have a global audience, in some village, and they end up becoming the next, like, Malala, Nelson Mandela, or Elon Musk, and they solve some big challenge in the world because they use their most powerful superpower, which is their mind. I mean, that's what's limitless. What's limitless, truly limitless, is our creativity, our imagination. There's no limit to human determination. There's no limit to our ability to come together. And I would challenge everybody here is listening to this. Actually, one more thing is to take a screenshot of this conversation in whatever form it is. Tag Roger, tag myself, post it on your social media, and share one thing you're going to do to build a better brain. Like just one thing, share it, because when you teach it, you get to learn it better. And then your fans, your followers, your family, your friends, that's how we do it. How do we become limitless in a limited world? We do it together. So you share a screenshot of this, tag us in it so we see it. I'll repost some of my favorites, and then share in the description like one thing you got out of this conversation or one thing you're going to do for your body or your brain to get closer to challenging yourself. And then I'll repost some of my favorites, and I'll actually send a copy of this book to
yes.
one person at random, just as a thank you for.
Ooh, my gosh. Wow, so much free stuff. I didn't know it was going to be like this. This is incredible. Jim, seriously, man, I love you. You're amazing. You're such a great person. You are. You're going to live a long time. I think God loves you. With the amount of love that you give to the world, so much free stuff. It's so much, not just free stuff, it's like really helping to improve the world. It's incredible. I really appreciate you, man. Seriously.
I appreciate you, and I appreciate, the world needs more modern day superheroes. People have discovered their superpowers, but just having a superpower doesn't make you a superhero. you have to use those powers for good. And you do it, man. So I appreciate the cape that you wear. And I would just say to everybody that a reminder, you are the greatest project you will ever get to work on. So make time, take time to create magic. And my final words for everybody is that your life is like an egg, that if an egg is broken by an outside force, life ends. But if it's broken by an inside force, life begins. Great things begin on the inside. And if you're still listening to this, you definitely have greatness inside of you. You have genius inside of you. And now is the time to let it out.
Yes, yes. Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. And your website is jimkwik.com?
Yeah, jimkwik.com. You can see all the links to the book, to our podcast, and all that great stuff. But yeah, most importantly, just whether people look at our stuff or just do something every single day. An investment in knowledge always pays the best dividends. I think it was Ben Franklin who said that. And so just take care of yourself, and may you sleep easy tonight, knowing that you can handle whatever the week throws at you. May you wake up, your mind's energized, your heart is inspired for a new day. May you move in the direction of your dreams and find beauty and gratitude and all those little things in life. And may you laugh, may you love, may you learn.
Yes. Yes. This is powerful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jim. I really want to do another podcast with you. I actually had so much other questions, but it would have taken too long. So hopefully another time. And
Get,
who
get
knows, maybe.
See what the community has in terms of questions and
Mhm.
gather them on social media, and we'll do a follow up.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
All right.
Superb. All right, Jim. It's been an absolute pleasure. You're incredible. Have a great afternoon, and we'll catch up again soon.
All right. Bye, my friend.
You take care.